So this is a preliminary presentation just to set the context right. We are today talking about opportunities in biodegradable product manufacturing. So India has imposed a ban on the use of single-use plastics from July 1, 2022, although it was in discussion since 2019 on items ranging from straws to disposable cutlery. Hence, it is now illegal to produce, import, stock, distribute, or sell these plastic items. List of single-use plastic items banned by India. It
Because,
is straws.
sorry,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
your presentation is not moving. It's still first page. You are on first page. Yeah, now
It's
it's
okay.
okay.
Moving now.
Yeah.
You are on
Fine.
second page, I think.
Second page. Now it's third page. So we are talking about what are the products that have been banned. Just a list. It's not a consolidated list, but just a few ones. Straws, the earbuds with plastic sticks, plastic plates, spoon, forks, glasses, plastic sticks for balloons, cigarette packets, plastic or PVC banners less than 100 microns, polystyrene thermocol for decoration, plastic bags, wrapping or packaging films, plastic flags, invitation cards, candy sticks, plastic chairs. There could be much more. There is a logic that the one of the speakers, one of the experts told me about this thinner size, ban on plastics, and the reason behind it is that it is not generally preferred to be picked. So that is the reason why they, have preferred to do that. They have put a ban on this. Okay, we go to the next slide, which talks about reason for banning plastics. We all are aware about the pollution that plastic creates. It is hazardous to the acoustic animals. And then around 80% of the marine debris and pollution is plastics. And I think, and might be one of the experts can also tell me that there is a legal binding on how much and what kind of waste can be disposed in sea. So that also is there. By 2050 there will be more plastic than fishes in the ocean if we go like this. So we go to the next slide. Problems caused by plastic waste, and the biggest one, as we all know, is recycling 1 million tons of plastic equals taking 1 million cars off the road in terms of CO2 emissions. So it's very difficult to recycle these plastics, and it's hazardous to human life, it is hazardous to marine life, and also because it is affecting marine life. So there's a lot of fisheries issues which can affect economy also in general. Go to the next slide. It talks about the uncontrolled plastic waste, which is around 10,376 TDP. When it's a TDP, it's ton per day. So 10,376 ton per day is uncollected, and that's why when we define the size or microns kind of a thing, the size of the plastics, then we are addressing this issue. Plastic waste collection is around 15,564 TDP. That is 60% of the total. So first, the first way to approach is, first of all, let that plastic waste collection be more and more. Why not just 60%? It also talks, this slide also talks about the top 10 cities which are adding, or top 10 cities which where plastics are being collected. Plastic waste generation in 60 major cities of India. So it is total 4,059, and almost all the major cities, all the metros are covered in it: Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai, Bangalore. We talk about the rise of plastic consumptions in India. It is, the data is till 2017, but it shows the exponential growth it is happening. And of course, we talk about a lot of growth happening in India and China because the consumers are increasing. And then it's also a depiction of some negative aspects of how growth can be if something negative happens. Where are plastic used? So use of plastics, mainly 35.8% of the plastics are used in packaging. It can be used in construction, textiles, consumer products, transportation, electrical industrial machinery and others. And that's why it is not possible to ban all the plastics, and that's the reason why gradually it is possible, because there are industrial plastics which are being used at B2B, which we cannot avoid. But then at the same time, B2C kind of we can reduce the consumption, B2C kind of thing, and make, which will contribute to the circular economy also. We talk about different forms of plastics used in various applications. So it is all chemistry, I would say. Polyethylene, PET, we talk about SDPE, high density polyethylene. We talk about LDPE, the low density PVC, polyvinyl chloride. We talk about polypropylene and polystyrene. So these are the kinds of plastics and its various applications. We see a lot of countries banning plastics. We see in North America continent, there are a lot of countries which have full or partial ban on plastics. In Africa, there's a full or partial ban on plastics, and then we see ban in Asia also. There are other way of using or reducing the consumption. It is a negative incentive, which is charge or tax that is levied on these people. We see a lot of European countries doing that, and under consideration, there are some countries in Asia which are looking at banning partial, or thinking of banning full ban on this plastics. uh, so ban on plastics, this is what we were talking about till now. So what is next? So every challenge, or every um, announcement, or every change, it comes with an opportunity. So we are talking about the opportunity that is going to come in next time. We are talking about biodegradable products. So now, as the straws, as the plastic plates are banned, more and more biodegradable products is the next big thing, is which is going to happen in India now. uh, Advantage of using biodegradable products, which are very obvious: reduce dependence on petroleum as they replace plastics, reduce carbon footprints, which is more related to pollution, saves lives of millions of aquatic animals, consumes less energy to manufacture, more sustainable and less toxic. We talk about factors driving the market of biodegradable product: strict government laws and regulations prohibiting the use of plastic products, and India has joined that league. Consumers are switching to biodegradable products by realizing the harmful effects of plastic waste. Availability of abundant raw material is encouraging industries to manufacture biodegradable products. Easy availability of machinery and low cost of production, and NGOs and social activists are educating more and more. And we see also in developed economies, they are more environmental friendly, or at least the thinking is more towards making a circular economy. So that's the reason why they are using more and more of biodegradable products. How a company can adopt biodegradable products, and it will contribute to their brand image. They are, we talk about triple bottom line reporting. So, of course, top line and bottom line, but then environment is a, triple bottom line reporting. So, what effect it will, what effect a entity, be it a company or any other entity, is making to the environment. Increase in sales, of course, this is a new area where new products will manufacture. Not many people would be there, and then that's the reason why a lot of people will enter. But then people who enter fast would be the ones who take the early mover advantage. And also, because the consumption in Asia particularly is increasing, that's why there would be an increase in, say, even if we cater to the domestic market and might be markets in Asia. Help your product to stand out of the crowd, which is, if we manufacture products which are biodegradable, then we can, it's a call for asking for a premium pricing. Consumers are ready to pay more for biodegradable products. So that is what I'm saying. So this is a brief introduction about what has happened till now. We'll talk about all this in deep with our experts. With this, I would like to first introduce you to our first expert, Mr. Uh, Purushottam Adoni. So, Mr. Adoni has 20 plus years of experience in polymer industry. He has 7 US patents and 5 international publications. Expertise in polymer formulations, application development, and business development areas. He is founder director of Ecolastic Company, developed and successfully scaled up up the scratch based 100% home compostable and biodegradable plastics with highly competitive pricing to address single use of plastic ban. So welcome, Mr. Adoni. First of all, you can tell about yourself. I've given just a brief of it, and then might be you can uh, talk a bit about what you are going to talk, and then we can move ahead with the presentation. For the audience, if they have any questions, they can put it in the chat box, and after Mr. Adoni finishes, then we can ask those questions with him.
Yeah, yeah,
Over to you, sir.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Mr. Vikas, for the nice introduction. Also, setting up the tone rightly. So, whatever you showed is the right background to start off this. So, myself, Mr. Vikas has given an introduction. I have been in plastic industry for more than 20 years in research and development and business developments. So, past few years, we spent significant amount of time in developing this biodegradable or compostable, basically the alternate to plastics. We have been doing enough research on that, and now the time has come where government has taken decision to ban, and also hopefully there will be a strict implementation or enforcement of this to see this industry is going. So this industry, one side is business, we are going to do something good to nature. So a little bit I am going to talk about what the product I'm talking about and how we can scale up, and also in addition of doing commercializing, we want to help industry and grow this entire business to multifold, helping people to come up into this technology. So that's the background. So let me share my presentation. Is it visible?
No, Purushottam, it is not visible.
Yes, just trying. Sorry, I think I need to just share the screen. How about now?
Yeah, yeah, it's okay. You just to put in the, press just
Yeah, I'll
F5
put the.
in presentation
I'll
mode.
put it in. Yes, sure. Uh, is it visible?
No, now only you are visible. Slide is not there.
I I think so. Just let me reshare.
Yeah, I clicked on devices.
Resharing. Let's see.
It's on.
You can see presentation now.
Pardon?
Presentation is not there. Screen, we are able to see the screen, but not the presentation.
Integrated camera is on here, but it says unable to access the chosen camera. Camera you have chosen seem to be used by another application.
Mr.
I think
Gautam,
the
can
video
you
is
mute
showing up.
yourself, please?
There's no other thing opened in my laptop. Everything is closed.
Or Vikas, do you have copy of it? If you can share it.
Um, might be my team would have. So
No
Akash,
problem. Just
can
let.
you look into it? If you have his
Okay.
presentation, we can show it here.
Yeah. Okay, let me do this. Put the restart.
So I think we can move ahead in this only. So we are able to see the screen. Alternate to
You're able to
plastic
see.
that are being. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Yes, yes.
only the sliding share mode is not happening.
Yes,
If it is
yes.
comfortable, I'll continue this way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please
that is
go
fine.
ahead, no problem.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So sorry, I don't know the glitch. Okay. So let's start. Today, we are going to discuss about say alternates that can be scaled. So against these plastics that are banned. So Second, slide movement also not happening. Yeah. So as Mr. Vikas has already given some background, so like what are banned? So basically the single-use plastics are, that is, as name suggests, so plastics that are used once and then. Plastics are not bad to environment, but our human behavior is what makes it bad. So if we properly discard and recycle, there is not going to be any problem globally. But so our behavior is like difficult to change. So that's where we need to address in different way. So as shown here, like so from in a daily routine, if you say starting from morning, like we start using plastics like toothbrush to different things. So some of them are like we use once and throw. So that's where we need to address that, find alternates to that. So though there is intention to find alternates, so unless somebody puts pressure on that, like government banning, so we don't look into it. Now it is time, so we have to look into it. So quickly to see like what are we trying to address. Plastics, so we use this, these are like very convenient material, safe and easy to use. But when we throw, what is happening, if you see the statistics, these are like really scary to see, like the amount of plastics we produce yearly and the amount of plastics that say doesn't come back for recycling, or where it ends up in ocean or land, causing huge problem to ecosystem. So especially the ocean. So over years, I think by 2050, there are going to be more plastic than fish. So that we are totally disturbing the only earth what we have for living. So considering that, like, so one is, yes, governments do their bit, but as so responsible citizen, so we also have to look into this as like what really we can reduce or what really alternates we can use, right? So let's think more on like, so what alternates we really bring into our daily life. So the products what I'm going to talk about is basically developed. So we have been researching for past 2 years to really come up with some solution that can replace plastics in majority of the single use applications. So in this the process, we also partnered with DRDO organization, so for bringing this solution faster, and DRDO has tested our product in say multifold to, and have given their support and acceptance to use this as a true replacement of plastics. So in market, basically, there are many people claim that they are biodegradable or compostable, because in a common public, the understanding of these differences between what is compostable, what is really biodegradable, and all, it takes really time to educate common public. But so there are a lot of differences. So a little bit I'll talk about those today, what exactly we are talking. So when we talk something replacement to plastic, that should not cause harm to environment. So the conventional plastics, what we see day to day, like say polyethylene or polypropylene or polystyrene or cups, plates, bags and all, they are made of petroleum products and they are very strong products. So ideally, they should be recycled and
Sunna,
they should never, sorry, fine.
Sir, carry on. It was by mistake, I think.
Sure. Okay. So ideally, the plastic should not end up in environment. Reason being, plastics doesn't degrade on its own for 400 years, or some people say up to 1,000 years, because those plastics are not consumed by bacteria. So normally the natural packaging, say for example, if we throw a banana peel, an orange peel after using, if we throw in soil, so after a week or 10 days, it disappears. What exactly happening to that? Basically, the bacteria eating that and extracting it back into a carbon cycle, so which is used by environment. So any product we develop, it should mimic that. The products what we are talking here is what we developed is corn based plastic. Like you take corn starch basically, convert into plastic granules. These granules to some extent look like your existing plastics, and convert them into variety of products what today like plastics are made, like similar process or exactly same machinery, same process you can use and convert them into bags, cups, plates, whatever we are disposing. And after use, if you put it into composting condition, so basically composting condition means where there is soil and where there is bacteria present and all, this bacteria eat these plastics in the same way like what it eats a banana peel, converts into carbon dioxide, water and biomass. This is called compost or say manure. So basically entire thing gone back into nature. So basically nature, we are helping nature to recycle this material. Nature is not able to recycle plastic. The plastic equivalent what we are developing here is nature is recycling. So this is called truly biodegradable. But otherwise there's market, there are a lot of technologies are available, and there are very big claims that they say oxo biodegradable or oxo degradable, something that you put 1% into plastic and they say it is degradable, but scientifically that is less likely. If 1% additive can make a plastic into a non-plastic, so that is strange thing, but there are so different aspects to it. We'll not worry about it. We'll worry about like what exactly, how exactly we can scale up this and things like that. So the manufacturing process of this is like, so on and then convert it into pellets, and those pellets from there, if people are in plastic industry, it is a straightforward job for them. Instead of putting plastic material into the machine, you put this material. All other process you just simply follow. There may minor tweaking is required, so some experts can help there. So whoever like giving you the material, that's how it works. So it is as simple as it. And to use these materials, as of now there is some regulatory requirement is there. I'll talk more detail on this in the following slides. Why without this regulatory, one cannot just start and sell these products, because government also wants to ensure that there is no any say frauds happen in this, or people again put some wrong claims, and that's the reason. So it's a caution. If somebody is getting into this, please be aware that you need to go through a regulatory process of that. And coming to products, you can make as many products from this material or this technology like what you see in plastics. Of course, carry bags are one thing. So apart from that, today there are several things are banned. Your cups are banned, plates are banned. So with this kind of material, the entire spectrum can be made. But the process equipment required for making different products are different. So today I'm showing that a carry bag process, but if somebody is interested to make plates, cups, and all, their equipment and process and all are different. So those people can get in touch with SolutionBuggy in later stage and approach them to take that particular technology for setting up your plant or implementing this into your plant. So with this, that's how I talked about our association with DRDO, which is more, I would say, authentic compared to any other claiming these technologies. So we are willing to give this to industry through SolutionBuggy. So once you get in touch with SolutionBuggy, then we can formalize like how you take it forward. I'll give a brief scenario of what kind of plant you can set up. Somebody if really looking for setting up with a minimal cost, small scale industry, if they want to set up, so how they can proceed. And it can be set up to a $1 million level also, like depending on volume you need to do. So let's see some scenario. I skip this. So especially for the lot of people want to become entrepreneurs, and now with this current situation, this industry is opening up for you, because everywhere there is panic. The materials are not available. Somebody wants ice cream cup, somebody wants plates, somebody wants spoons, and it's not available in market. But this particular product, if you get into and manufacture this is, you are allowed to manufacture and you are allowed to sell, and it solves the problem. So compared to many natural products, because there are natural alternates, like there is a banana leaf or some bagasse based and all, their scaling up challenges are still there, like how you source raw material, where you source leaves, or where you the plants and all those. Compared to that, this can be a faster and accepted solution. So to just to give you a brief for like the what makes it more interesting, as everyone of talking today, like single-use plastics are strictly banned now. I'm sure there's going to be good enforcement as well. Government is setting up control rooms to enforce or stop this manufacturing and selling of these. That is one part of the story. Apart from that, so there is a lot of awareness coming in citizens and in especially in offices, industries, people their own more eco-friendly and greener products. If you see even in Amazon today, there's a quite a bit amount of these greener products are sold. So that means that citizens are coming forward to even pay a little more and get something better that doesn't spoil our mother earth. That's one part. Second is, so as of now, for example, if you take carry bag scenario, the bags what is sold in plastics. So currently government has put a regulation of if somebody manufacture and sell, it should be minimum of 75 micron. For carrying a 2 kg of material, you don't need 75 micron, even 20 micron would do. But reason to put this is government wants to ensure after you use and somebody picks it up for recycling. So that regulation is going to change to 120 micron in coming months. I think the estimated time is December this year. If that happens, what exactly happens when government makes it is the same bag, whatever you buy in supermarket or outside today is going to cost twice. Say if it is 1 rupee today, it's going to cost 2 rupees. Why I'm talking this example is when that costs 2 rupees, if we can make a compostable or biodegradable bag at 2 rupees or less than 2 rupees, your selling ability will be much higher than today. So that is one thing you can keep in mind, like so as a future prospect. Then so there's a panic in market now. Many places these things are not available. Materials are bags are not available. Cups are not available. So of course some places it is available where government is not enforcing much. But some states, if you see the news like Maharashtra, Rajasthan, and all, the enforcement is much more stricter. So where there is a possibility that if you make something like this, so you get into market much quicker than others, right? So another aspect of this is this industry, whatever we are talking. So in technically, it should be called compostable plastics. This industry is growing multifold globally, not just India. Other countries like Europe and all, much ahead of us. Say there is a strict norms and there is a say incentives to get into this and all. So as the industry, this is going to grow bigger, better in coming years. If even if somebody is looking for a bigger business model, setting up in India and exporting to Europe and US and all, it takes time because there is a certification process for that. Once you have that, that opens up a very lucrative market for you. Let's see very quick scenario of costing. This is just to give you any say a small picture on like how costing works. It may not be very accurate because day-to-day things keep changing. For example, this material, whatever we are talking about, corn-based material. So raw material, say today, if you compare with polyethylene, polyethylene is available at 120 rupees, and this material cost today is around 200 or about 200, something like that, because of its materials and technology and all. And when you convert it into bags, so your bags are made at 220 rupees. You add 20 rupees to make from raw material to bags. So the advantage here is in this material, when you use it, you don't need to maintain the thickness specified by government. So it means that you can make a lighter bag, so our bag with less material. So that to some extent that compensates when you are comparing with plastic bag, because it's always difficult to sell something at higher price than what is there in market. So that way if you compare, so even though you start with higher price of the material, when you make the finished product you have certain advantage. Considering today's scenario of 75 micron, so if plastic bag is available at 1.4 rupees, so like so you were so this particular bag made from this is like you can make at say 1.83, something like that. So that still this is at higher side, but regulation are like making more stringent. I mean, if 120 microns come into picture, so will be at par or cheaper. So that way this is something so is still attractive to think about. And if somebody wants to say set up this altogether in new plant, because there are a lot of entrepreneurs coming nowadays, as Mr. Vikas told, so they can think of say if you small unit, if you think. So let's see what are the costs to set up this. So what it requires is it requires, say, let us start with granules. So now the biodegradable granules are available with us, or there are many people in market who can give you. So you need a machine to convert into bags, that is called a blown film machine. So a blown film machine of making small carry bags, standard machine costs you somewhere 11 lakhs. And there are some accessories required. After you make a bag, you need to cut it, print it, and all. So if you put all together, including GST, your spend is going to be for a good machine somewhere around 28 lakhs. So on the machinery part, then you need a small factory, and then you need power, right? You need manpower and all. So put together, consider at least a minimum of like say 50 lakhs. If 50 lakhs are there, you can start off a small scale unit that produces like 30 to 40 tons of this material. So when you set up this, there are other mandatory requirements, like especially when you are setting up new. So you have to go for few licenses, which many people know what the standard license are required. Apart from these licenses, there is one another certificate process is there for this product, which is the testing from CPET and then getting approval from a central pollution control board. They give a license to manufacture. That's a 8 months to 10 months process. So if somebody is interested, they should really consider submitting the samples quickly so that they save on time. This entire process can be guided by SolutionBuggy. So once you are ready with setting up your thing, if you approach SolutionBuggy, so they can give you the entire SOPR, like what are the certification process you should start with and how to submit for testing and what materials to use and all. So please get in touch with them. So if you are interested to set up. Also, let's see, say we talked about setting up the machine, but after setting up the machine, so you want to see what profits you really make, right? So again, one small scenario is given. So this is again not very accurate because there are a lot of factors in that, but it gives you an idea. Like if you set up a one machine and say make really very thin bags, because this material you are allowed to make thin bags. So in 1 kg, so you can make some 200 plus bags. So compared to plastic, whatever like thickness is happening today similarly. So this gives you a small calculation how much you can do in one shift, how many bags you can do. So considering that the selling price, so per kg, so what exactly your total cost per day, right? And what is that your cost and what is your selling price and what is that profit you can make, gross profit you can make in a shift. So if you this for this you need to run full shift. For this you need to have sales and orders. So that's a different part of the entrepreneurship. But on a capacity wise, if you set up one machine and make 30 ton per month, so there is a higher side possibility of you make a profit of like 37,000 per shift, something like. For that you need to fill the capacity. So that's the condition. Okay. So more can be discussed if somebody is serious and willing to get into this. So this is about this the all the project we are talking about. So the major aspects are this product line can be scaled up to any quantity. Forget about setting up 30 ton per month. If somebody wants to set up 500 ton per month or 1000 ton per month, this enables because these materials are available. So as much can be produced. Number one. Number two, forget about setting new one. If somebody has plastic industry, they want to shift from plastic to this material, it is very easy. So same equipment can be used. There may be very, very minor tweaking required that you can take expert help from SolutionBuggy. So then it is easy to shift. Third is the certificate and certification aspects. So you need to really, if you're getting into it, so from day one, consider that because that time consuming. So team can guide you. If you get that, then it opens up the enough opportunity to so get into this market, and also there's a long-term prospects for this product. So that is all on paper on the presentation I wanted to share. So if any questions in later stage, I think it is on the chat, so we can address that.
So indeed a very good presentation, very impressive. You gave idea about not just the products, but also I see the financial aspect and the feasibility aspect of it. So very, very impressive presentation. Thanks for it, Mr. Adoni. I have one more question. So generally the ticket size which with which people come to us is from 1 crore to 10 crore. So what do you recommend for which products could be good for this kind of investment, excluding land, only on machineries, and what could be the lead time of such products?
Definitely. See, before they want to decide on investment, so they need to work a little bit on what product line or what markets they want to present. See, there are two different markets. One is like carry bags. So carry bags is kind of evergreen market. So then there are single-use plastics. So single-use plastics like plates, cup and all. So that is a different set of equipment. So even if somebody wants to set up, there is enough equipment available in plastic industry which are not used now. That is another aspect to look into it, even buying a second hand or using their facilities, something like that. So with 1 crore, so if carry bags, they can set up really decent facility. If there are product lines are different, like if they want to present, say, supplying some ice cream cup to some brand, so that works differently, right? So really, I don't suggest somebody to straight away get into some 5 crore, 10 crore investment. You use existing facilities in the market, you explore the market and get the certification, you prove, then get into buying more machinery.
Okay, fine. That's a cautious and good approach. I would say less risk taking approach, which is obviously preferred for people who have less funds. And less funds, when I say, it's 1 crore to 10 crore. So it's a good approach that you're talking about. So one more thing that I wanted to know from you is, often we get this question from a lot of entrepreneurs, is whether they should have their own brand or whether they should build to print, which means that whether they should start manufacturing on their own, or whether they should work for one company and be a captive unit or captive plant for them. What is preferable?
It depends on what they want to achieve. If somebody wants to be like an entrepreneur for longer time and achieve their own brand, they have to create, right? So, or if somebody's investment, they want to quickly rotate that and find right customer and do for captive or their own captive, things like that, because they're both the type of industry are available. So if they have some other products, say if they want to set up a say downstream or upstream, somebody making, for example, ice cream. So if they want to set up their upstream also making their own packaging, for them it's more of a captive. But knowing this industry and prospects long term, so developing their own brand and getting into market with their identity, that definitely pays back.
Right. Perfect. So it's a long-term investment that they make, that first of all, they create their own brand and then take it. But then it is more sustainable as you go.
Absolutely.
Right. Perfect. So I'll come back to you. Meanwhile, we have a small poll in place. So it's a small poll for all the audience. So there will be questions which will be asked, which will be showed in the screen, and all the audience have to, click on one of the options. So it's not, I would say, a poll, but it's more like exploratory exercise of who you are, what your backgrounds is, and other things. So I would just like to ask if the team is ready, technical team is ready with the questions. Should I start? So should we ask the questions? Yes, it started. So the first question that is there is related to who you are. So are you an existing industry, a first generation entrepreneur looking for business ideas, a consultant, or others? For 30 seconds, we will be, posing this question on the screen. The next question, which is popping up on your screen, is how do you want SolutionBuggy experts to connect you? It can be a video consulting or an advice for 1 hour or 2 hours to start with. It could be plant visits to already existing plants. It could be a market research on which kind of products has which kind of market in which kind of area. It also talks about competitive scenarios. It also talks about pricing, costing, and profits. Or do you want to have more knowledge sharing sessions like these to take it forward? The next question on the screen is, do you require SolutionBuggy's expert for turnkey projects, which means end-to-end solutions, right from product identification, detailed project reports, machinery installation and commissioning, and taking the first product out of your manufacturing. We have good experience in that. Product identification, business plans and schemes, funding, and others. Go to the last question. Do you want to be contacted by SolutionBuggy project coordinators regarding association of engagement? Which means that, do we want our experts, and these are not salespeople, these are experienced project managers who would like to contact you, understand your requirement, and then connect you with the right expert. Or might be, it could be a small online consulting that we are talking about. It could be a long-term association that if you are clear about what you are going to manufacture, then we can have other kind of associations also. So I think the poll is over. Thanks for your inputs. With this, we move ahead with the next speaker. So our next speaker is Mr. Rajkumar Mathur. He's a plastic engineer, a mentor with 30 years of vast knowledge in the manufacturing, multinational company worked in the domain of plant installation and commissioning and supply chain management. He has been helping individuals, entrepreneurs, and organizations in the domain of plastics and packaging to start a new business, diversify with the existing business, and upgrade the existing business up to the level of business excellence. So, welcome, Mr. Mathur, on this webinar. And I see a very good experience and very relevant experience that we are talking about, especially biodegradable products. So can you just brief whatever I have missed in your introduction, and topics that you are going to cover with in your presentation, and might be, and then you can take it forward, the presentation. But similarly, I would like the audience to go in the chat box, ask more and more questions, and we can take it up after the presentation is over. Welcome, sir.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Vikas, and good morning to all of you, all the viewers and my friends who are who are already spoken and going to speak. I am Rajkumar Mathur, and as Vikas has already given a beautiful introduction, a well-meaningful introduction about me, I am now helping after working for almost 30 years in the corporate world in the domain of the plastic for installation and commissioning of many type of different plastic plants from extrusion to molding and other related processes. And now I'm helping basically the individuals and entrepreneurs to start their own business in the field of plastics, either to start their business or diversifying the existing business in the new sort of the plastic product, or if somebody wants to upgrade their existing system, processes, and process up to the business excellence. So I'm helping them with these all vast knowledge. And basically, today's subject is very interesting and very useful for if you see the future aspects of the plastic industry in India. So what is going to happen is that in next maybe 5 years or so, mostly the single-use plastic will be converted to either the biodegradable plastics or something different. New things will be coming up in the market. So you can see all these revolutionary change in the field of the plastic industry that we are going to monitor right now. And all of you have seen most of the time when you are traveling to somewhere or you are walking on the road or the street, you can see a lot of garbage or everything is you can see plastic everywhere, and everywhere. Even around your places, your houses, your cricket fields, your gardens, and everywhere. And basically, somewhere, or most of the time, we are the responsible person who are making all this mess. As Mr. Purushottam has identified and told very clearly that if we are not make ourselves more responsible, then by 2050 in ocean there will be more plastic as compared to the fishes. So this is a futuristic scenario we have to improve ourselves, and then we have to work on it. Okay, so let me start my presentation, and it's a very brief about this today's topic. This is my very brief introduction. I'm reachable to anybody. This is my cell number. You can connect me anytime, any moment on this issue through SolutionBuggy itself. Basically, let me start. What I'm going to present today is this. What is the biodegradable? There is many people are debating on it. What is biodegradable? How we can take it as a biodegradable? My slides are visible?
Not yet, sir. Not visible.
Yeah.
So you can see a block in the at the end which says share, and then go to share, and then you can share
Yeah,
the material or the screen.
just a moment. I've already shared. Is it visible now?
Yes, it's working.
Okay, fine. Okay. Fine.
So it was visible, but now is not visible now.
Is it
Yes, it's
visible
fine
now?
now. Yes, sir. We can move ahead.
It's okay?
Yes, it's
Is
working
it okay?
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So basically, I'm covering the following topics. What is the biodegradable? What we termed as a biodegradable in today's world. This is a very vast world where we can cover many materials in the biodegradable. So biodegradable in terms of plastics, I'll let you know about it. Then what is the history of biodegradable plastics? We should understand when this biodegradable plastic started in working conditions. Then what is the difference between a biodegradable and compostable? Test methods of biodegradable plastics, which is available as on today. Then present and future scenario, raw material and their use, chemistry of the biodegradable plastics, manufacturing processes and equipments, estimated costs and sources. So let us see what is basically the biodegradable. Biodegradable is the end of the life terminology, what we call it. This is a property of a material that can be completely converted into water and carbon dioxide and biomass through action of microorganisms such as fungi and bacteria. This is a common phenomena and general phenomena which is we have known. Then plastics have the ability to degrade by microorganisms present in the environment by entering the microbial food chain. This is a clear-cut definition when we consider it as biodegradable. If anybody is suggesting or claiming that this is a biodegradable, you can ask if they are fulfilling all these properties. The property is not dependent on the origin of raw material, but the chemical composition of polymer. That's very true. There are mainly two types of biodegradable plastic as on today, which is available in market. First is the oxy biodegradable plastic, we call it OBP, and another is a hydro biodegradable plastic, which is more in as on today in use, and which degrade and biodegrade more quickly than oxy biodegradable plastics. In both cases, the degradation begins with a chemical process, when the oxidation and hydrolysis respectively followed by a biological process. And both types emits carbon dioxide as they degrade, but biodegradable plastics can also emit the methane also. Again, this methane is again useful for our day-to-day use. And as per research, oxo biodegradable plastics convert to basically the fragmentations. And what happens to later on is as a ethylene under the study. Now, you will be surprised to know the history of biodegradable. Like, it's very interesting, and I hope that you will understand it. It may be difficult for people to read it, maybe because it's a font of the less. First, or you can say that in ancient India, they use a material which is called shellac or lac. And surprisingly, it is also in use as on today also. People who are from the North India side, from maybe Rajasthan or somewhere, they can see the ornament basically are being used, particularly the bangles from the lac material. That lac and shellac is nothing, it's the same thing, and it is been reported in around 1560 or somewhere when one of the prominent visitors visited India this side and he reported in research papers. Then during 1608 and 1662, another natural resin comes existence that is called Gatta Parcha. The people who are in the from plastic fields, they might have known about this Gatta Parcha. When we studied the plastic, we used to study this material also. That's why 19th century, this material become the substantial importance for the cable industry, for the insulation purpose. And 1940 onwards, it is replaced by the synthetic materials. That ebonite was the first thermosetting plastic material which was resolved in natural rubber in 1851. 1851 itself, there is another material converted to natural plastic as celluloid. And please mind it, celluloid is today's one of the important ingredient of all biodegradable plastic materials what we are using. 1900 only plastic material available was shellac, kattaparcha, ebonite and celluloid. The amber and bitumen is still we are using basically in the road and other construction area and somewhere in the insulation also. Has a similar type of material, and all these were derived from the natural materials. Casein from milk protein. As on today, also we are working of similar kind of material in producing some of the biodegradable material. The name Galliath was given by derivatives of casein processed with other chemicals, and it was used mostly in the button industry. The era of Second World War basically was the era when these materials were in high demand because of their special use in aircraft, knife handles, and other relevant products which are used basically during the war. The first decade of Second War saw establishment of newer synthetic in many applications, and that leads to increase the production capacity of polyethylenes and polystyrene. See, when the demand increases and the supply was less, so people started modifying it, and they started making the synthetic materials, and that calls as a plastic in the today's language. In some cases, plastic use was very unwelcome. In today also it is the same scenario. But in some places it was very welcome because it has a very great value of technically and economically. The same situation is there as on today also. In due course, it was appreciated that blaming plastic itself is not good enough. Basically, while we are polluting, is not the material. We are the user, are the main who are polluting all these plastics in the market or everywhere. Now, what is the difference between a biodegradable versus compostable? Biodegradable and compostable are terms used when describing organic material breaking down in a specific environment. Both terms are often used when defining environmentally friendly products and are often misused. Because there is some difference in the biodegradable and compostable products. Compostable is always a biodegradable product, whereas biodegradable is not always compostable. This is very important thing people should understand and remember it. It is important to note that compostable is a characteristic of product, packaging, or associated components that allow it to biodegrade under specific conditions. For example, a certain temperature, time frame, etc. Hence, primary difference between compostable and biodegradable is that compostable plastics are biodegradable in composting condition. For example, in soils, landfill, and anaerobic digesters. Now, how to test whether these products are biodegradable or not? No doubt, there is no very frequent test available with us today. Only CPET Chennai is the authorized entity in India as on today who are certifying that these products are biodegradable or not. But certain tests which is available are ASTM D6400. This is basically labeling of plastic designed to be aerobically composted in municipal or industrial facilities. This is ASTM for the people who are not from the plastic fields or from this technology. This is American standard test method. Second is European standard, that is EN 13432. That is basically for the packaging recoverable through compositing and biodegradation. Then in India, basically what we are following is ISO 17088 2008 scenario, that is specific procedures and requirement for the identification and labeling of the plastics. All the industries who are manufacturing their biodegradable plastics or products, they are following mostly the ISO 17088. And these are the four aspects which is to be addressed. First is the biodegradation, disintegration during composting, negative effect on composting process and facility, and negative effect on the quality of resulting compost, including the presence of high level of regulated metals and other harmful components. This specification is intended to establish the requirement for the labeling of plastic products and materials, including the packaging like compostable in municipal and industrial compostable facilities. What is the present scenario of biodegradable and future scenario of this industry in India and across the world? My friend Mr. Pushottam has covered up this very beautifully. I'm just adding up something in it. The global bioplastic market size was valued as $1.2 US billion in 2021 and expected to register a compound annual growth rate of CAGR of 17.1% from this year to 2030. Sorry. India's scenario is that projected growth has 23.91% to reach 754.648 billion by 2025. Sorry. From US dollar of 208.475 billion in 2019. I'll take a minute. This is due to increase in awareness of the regarding health issue, ban on SUP, sorry, and coupled with increasing population in emerging market of Asia, Pacific and Indian market, that is expected to benefit and end user industries. So as I told in the beginning, next 5 years is going to be the booming for the biodegradable industries particularly, where most of the single use type of material, I'll show you one picture where you can identify how many type of plastic materials are which is in single use, which we are using on daily basis but unable to identify it. More or less all those materials can be converted into biodegradable. This is the raw material and their use. As it been said that history repeats again. So it is the case of the biodegradable also. What I have told you in the history in year of 1500 or 1600, when we are using those materials from the plant extract and everything, celluloids and ebonites and other products, same thing we are going to use now. It is again the starch-based plastic. bacteria-based plastics, soy-based plastics, cellulose-based plastics, lignin-based plastics, and natural fibers reinforcement plastics. You can use them to manufacture the bags, many disposable products, and cutlery. Now, what are these disposable products? Bags and cutlery, everybody knows. But other than all these products, what are those products? These are the basically the many disposable products you can see in this picture. This is very much clear. Most of the industries across the world, they've started using biodegradable plastic, composite plastic in automobile. Many industries are started using basically the bottles in engineering industries, in automobile industry, oil industries. Many places that they are started using. Other than these products, still there are many products which you can see in your day-to-day use, which are supposed to be the single use, particularly in the apparel industry, garment industry, where you see many plastics are being used to pack the garments and use during manufacturing of these products. So all those type of products can also be converted into the biodegradable products. What is the chemistry of biodegradable plastics? This is the chemistry of biodegradable plastic. Common biopolymers and sources, basically the PLA, PHS, CPS. These are the products of plastic, which is now converted from the starch, particularly the corn starch and wood and other natural products, and then they can use in the everyday products like your, as I showed you the pictures on the previous slide. And the advantage and disadvantage of these things, globally, plastic production, conventional plastic, we are producing 330 million tons. And the biodegradable, it is only 2.11 tons. No doubt, 333 million tons is not going to replace by this biodegradable plastic, because everywhere it is not like that. Only places where it is required to change will be covered up by this biodegradable plastic. Then conditions for biodegrading is basically you should have a very specific conditions like moisture, oxygen, and then you know microorganisms which is available in the soils. I'm sorry, guys. Manufacturing process and equipments which are being used to manufacture all those products in single-use plastics are basically extrusion, where you can blow the films, and you can use the molding, blow molding also, where you can make the bottles and other things. And another one is basically the injection molding machines. And if you have already industry related, we are producing any of these injection molding product or films or any blow molding product. If you want to convert, you can convert your industry on immediate basis to use these biodegradable plastics to start manufacturing your product. The estimated cost, Mr. Purushottam has given you glimpses, but my says is that it depends on the many aspects. All these aspects are basically what type of product you want to manufacture, what type of size and shape you want to manufacture is, what type of raw materials you want to use. All raw materials has a different cost. Then what is the capacity you are looking for? Then what is the manufacturing process? That depends on the product. Suppose you want to make a molded product, then there's a different cost altogether. If you want to make an extrusion process to manufacturing the bags and other things, then it's a different process. Then manufacturing equipments, whether you want say what capacity of equipment you are looking for, say fully automatic, semi-automatic, or manual operations. Then other accessory equipments, whether you are printing post operations or not required or not. Then exactly we are located. the land, the cost of the land in your area, the electricity cost in your area, the licenses cost from the local state governments and corporation, and the bank's loan from where you're going to take it. And then some miscellaneous expenses, you can say the operative expenses are there, which is required to consider while calculating the cost. The sources for the material machines, both are available, local as well as the import. You can import, you can buy the local machines also. Same raw material also, it is available locally also and globally also. Customer, you can sell in the India market, you can sell in the domestic also, international, because there is a huge demand in international, and many industries I know which I came across who are manufacturing these biodegradable raw materials and products. They are exporting very beautifully, more than they are selling in domestic market. Just one request that we wherever possible procure locally and sell locally as well as globally. That is to make the our India as a self-reliant or Atmanirbhar Bharat. That will end my presentation, and I'll just with my gratitude to Solution Buggy and all of you, all the listeners, please adopt the mantra of refuse, reuse, recycle, recover, redesign, rethink, and recover. So whenever we are designing any product, just think about its consumption of the plastic in your areas and see that think if we can use the biodegradable plastic other than the regular plastics. So this will help a lot in reducing the plastic pollution in today's world, and it will help a lot to enhance the production of biodegradable plastic also. Thank you. Take care, please.
And thank you, sir, for your nice presentation. I'll directly come to the question. So there's a question that I'm reframing from one of the audience. It says that he's looking to start a non-woven bat manufacturing business, and 80 to
Okay.
90% of it is 20 up to 20 GSM in the market. So GSM is, I understand that it's the thickness or weight per gram per meters, which is of course related to thickness of the film. So now his question is, should he start manufacturing more than 20 GSM bags? The reason behind why he's asking is it is whether it's a sustainable business, or do we expect again a ban coming up and say up to 40 GSM bags are banned. So is there a possibility on that, or is this a sustainable business?
As I told in the beginning, I think when we were discussing, because me, you, and Pushottam, that as of today, there is a no ban on these type of products. But going forward, maybe in the next 6 months or so, the ban is going to be there on such type of products which are not basically, particularly not able to, they are recycled. So woven sex is, as on today in the industry, this is a recyclable material, and mostly people who are using the woven sex, they are disposing of very judiciously. They are disposing of very responsibly to the recyclers or the garbage collectors and other people. So I don't, as on today, there is absolute no issue. They can continue. But future, they have to see, see that how they can improve on their this capacity, and viability is depends on their customers, because there is absolutely, as on today, there is no alternate for the woven sex in the industry. Whoever is using the woven sex, either they have to go, these 20 GSM bags are they are basically used by the retailers or the hotel restaurants and other people who are using as a small packaging, small but bulk packaging. So those people has to go either for the paper bags or they have to go for the cloth bags. And in both the cases, it is going to be the very costly matter to them. Even though if they increase the thickness from 20 to 40, it will be more cheaper them to use those bags. So their market is going to be there, and it is not going to be that it is reducing or they have been in trouble for that one. But certainly, I'll say that they have to think that they should start talking to their customer that boss, going forward, I have to increase the thickness because of the regulation from the government of India. And sometimes the state government also may implement certain regulations. Like Maharashtra government, they are now very strict, particularly who are in the Maharashtra, they are manufacturing and selling only in Maharashtra. Maharashtra government is already very strict on these no low thickness of these packaging materials. Hope I think they will suffice this requirement.
So there's one more question. An existing industry is there which is using single-use cups and plates. They are already manufacturing it. So they are saying, can they use it for the same machinery for any biodegradable plastics?
They can use, but some minor tweaking is required. Minor some modification may required based on their products. What type of product, what are the thick walls they are using, how much thickness is there in the products, and what type of material particularly they are choosing to start this manufacturing. So there may be some minor modification may required in the machineries, and if required, maybe in the mold also. But we have to see it basically exactly.
Okay, okay.
But
And in
most of the
general,
time they can
yes, sir.
start, sorry, most of the time they can immediately switch over to other biodegradable manufacturing. There is absolutely no issue.
Okay. And how flexible these machineries are? Are these very standard, or as you said, that we can do a slight tweaking and make a change in the product, make the change in the machine to make a final product. So how flexible these machineries are, and are these imported machineries, or can we get these machineries here in India, or are these special purpose machines? What is your opinion?
No, no, no. Absolutely, there is a no special purpose machine, and all type of machineries are available in India. There is a no need to go abroad to have any machine. If somebody is very much fascinated to have imported machines, all most of the major machine manufacturers are available in India. They are manufacturing in India and supplying in India with the same capacity, technology, and the quality. That is the one thing. There is a no special purpose machines. Existing machineries can be used. As I told, that maybe some minor modification may require, depends on the product and the material they are going to use. If anybody has the existing infrastructure of molding or extrusion or blow molding, they can try those materials and then they can see themselves. Nothing is a very big rocket science in that.
Okay, fine, fine. So it's not that complicated, not that difficult to
No, absolutely
change
not
the machineries,
complicated
buy the
system.
machineries. Yes. Okay, good,
Yes.
good. Next question is on the pricing part of it. So they are saying a non-biodegradable, which is single-use plastics, and a biodegradable product. So if we compare it, how cost-effective it is, and how price sensitive is the market, and how much we can charge premium for a biodegradable product. That's the question.
See, because the thing is that cost of biodegradable plastic as on today, if you say it's a higher side, but if you see the actual use point of view, it is not on the higher side. If you buy the material, you can say as compared to the existing synthetic material, it is almost 2 to 3 times of the existing cost when it is going to be a natural based plastic products. And one, but thing is that why it is economical when you convert it into the product, then you can go back to the originality of the product. For example, bags, the 20 or 40 micron bags will be much more effective than the 75 to 80 micron of the present synthetic bags material also. Okay. So when the input cost is high, they can do the changes in the manufacturing product, the thickness, and basically if they reduce the thickness, naturally the product is going to be in the more capacity, the cost will be down. So there will not be any effect on the cost ultimately.
Okay, fine. So right now we are talking about biodegradable and non-biodegradable. There's a question which talks about paper bags and cloth bags. So what would be the trend in that, or will there be a huge demand for that? And is there a market for export?
Yeah, paper bag and cloth bag is again a booming market right now because we don't have enough supplies of the biodegradable bags in India as on today. People, whoever are manufacturing, two of the manufacturers are with us right now, and they are using their highest capacity, maybe using their highest capacity to manufacture and supplying those bags. But still, there is a scope for the paper and cloth bag as on today in the market. But this is not going to be, well, I understand, is not going to be a long term or very profitable in the future, because the again availability of paper and cloth is again depends on the your natural products, natural fibers. And paper itself, the people who are in the paper business as on today, if somebody is there in the paper business, they might have seen that what is the availability of papers. The paper mills or the paper sources, they are unable to give the paper for the normal industry work, for the corrugation of boxes. There are certain my of the friends who are in the corrugation industry, and I see that they are always have a tight hands in getting the metal, even though they are paying the money in advance. So paper bags and cloth bag, for time being, it is a good market. They can maybe for around 6 months or so, when all when you have a more supply of the biodegradable plastic bag product, till then they can boom their market. But later on, there may be a position that will be tight to them. However, there is a one case where basically where they are using reusing the paper scrap, like a newspaper, for example. If somebody is using the paper scrap, they can make the bags and utilize them. Then it's a market, but to a certain extent. That is the my view for the paper bags and the cloth bags.
Yeah,
Mr. Dhoni,
just
what is your opinion about that?
yeah. So Mr. Mathur rightly explained it. Just wanted to add one perception on the see paper today. It is booming definitely, but paper is again not as good environment friendly because we need to cut trees to make paper bags. So if you, I was watching some news of some 40 years old things. There, people were so happy to introduce plastic bags so that they don't need to cut trees. So someday that
Yes,
scenario repeat again, and environmentalists come and say stop using paper bags. Yeah,
you're absolutely right, because paper and cloth is basically from the cotton most of the time, and the paper is directly from the tree. One A4 sheet, it is told that one A4 sheet which we are using and disposing on a dustbin. If you are disposing one A4 sheet, please understand you are cutting a one tree. This is equally said in the packaging industry and the paper industry. That is the value of one A4 sheet. So next time when you are disposing and tearing of one A4 sheet, please understand that you are cutting a one tree for one paper sheet. So paper is a temporarily booming, not a permanent solution or long-term solution.
Okay, perfect. So with this, we go to our next speaker. And sorry, Gautam, for coming late on you. So Mr. Gautam Sawarna, he's a third generation entrepreneur with new age business and old age value systems. He's a founder director of Eco 365. Eco 365 provides innovative, efficient, alternative solution to reduce water, energy, and plastic fossil demand. Offerings related to water efficiency and compostable plastics are used by top companies, hotels, schools, and individual homeowners in India and abroad. So, welcome, Mr. Gautam. So, I would like to know from you anything which I have missed in your introduction, and might be you can go through your entrepreneurial journey, how it has been, taking a different route from the traditional business. How difficult or how easy was it?
Thank you, Vikas. Thank you. Hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, that's fine.
So, thank you, Vikas. Nice initiative, I would say, and a lot of knowledge. Mr. Pushottam is a good friend, and Rajkumarji had great insights and definitely made us look how the evolution of biodegradable and compostable plastic took place. Uh, if I have to talk about my company, Eco 365, we founded this company in 2010, and the whole objective and the core of the ideology what we have is about providing alternatives to your regular products, which are more sustainable. When I say sustainable, helping community, environment, and economics. These three pillars we need to manage. Okay, we need to be good to the community, we need to be economical, or we need to handle the economics. the commerce, and also at the same time the environment, okay, where we are all grown and brought up. Okay, so we were formed in 2010, and we are right now two core products which we deal in is water conservation product, water efficient products, and second is bioplastics. We hold a capacity to manufacture 1800 metric tons of bioplastics. We have a factory in Bangalore. Uh, our factory is one of its kinds where we only manufacture compostable plastic. Believe me, we don't manufacture anything else. Though the word biodegradable has been very commonly used in the country, somehow I make up all possible attempts to not to use this word. Why? Because it creates a lot of confusion. As Rajkumar ji said, all products which are compostable are biodegradable, but all biodegradable products are not compostable, which means that if I'm talking about biodegradable plastic, then I'm talking about a lot more products than just compostable plastic. Uh, when did we get into compostable plastic? Since this is related to biodegradable compostable plastics, the title says we got into compostable plastic when none of nowhere you heard these words. Okay, we were into this business at 2014 and 13. That point of time we were researching, and we launched the product in 2014. And believe me, wherever we went with the product, what they said: who needs it? Yeah, it's so expensive. It's so expensive. You know, uh, this is not required. We have a solution already. But there were a niche market which we were able to capture. Okay, people who wanted to go green, people who had a consciousness, and believe it, believe me or not, they are the first people. They are the trendsetters, I would say. Okay, so we were selling a concept. Okay, and my company, the strength lies in putting up the concept in a very simple, easy, understood, verbal way, that people understand. How do we create awareness on this? So we spend a lot of time creating awareness. A small presentation I have on my company, if it is okay, because if I could run so that people get a feel of it.
Please go ahead. Might be you can take 10-15 minutes maximum, and then because I have
Yes.
more questions for you.
Yes, no problem.
Okay.
So are you able to see my screen?
No. Yes.
Able to?
Yes, now it's fine.
Yeah. Do you see the green color slide of sustainable compostable packaging? Yes.
Right.
So this is how we look, how logo looks, and this is how what we talk. Okay, compostable, eco-friendly, back to nature. You will not find those words related to biodegradable here. Why? Because this is what we are in for. We are talking about a better product than biodegradable. So we have all the licenses. I'll not go into technical part of it. What is compostable? What is bioplastic? Why? Because it's been covered by the two speakers earlier. And we have all the legitimate requirements looked upon by the buyers when they are buying products from us. A little bit of our milestones. We started in 2010. We've been awarded by the ministry. We've got numerous featuring. We have numerous clients who use our products both in both the categories of the products what we deal in. Top IT companies are my customer. Top e-commerce companies are my customer. So we are helping many business houses, helping them go green. This is was in 2019. We've been awarded by the Ministry of as a National Entrepreneurship Award. 2019 we got featured, and numerous other awards which we got for our initiatives and our products what we did. I'll skip this slide. Why? Because it's been already covered by majority, and majority of us we know about it. Why compostable plastic is something which I'm really interested and I really want to talk about. Looks and functions like regular plastic, ecological. It goes back to the nature. When you are shopping and you are using a compostable plastic or you are receiving a compostable plastic, the guilt goes away, of the buyer, that I'm using a sustainable product. Okay, I'm receiving my product in a sustainable manner. Okay, I'm not the one who's creating microplastics. Okay, so there is a shopping experience. It's said that the more environment friendly the product is, the shopping experience of a buyer is much higher. So we concentrate on a lot of packaging item. You don't see a carry bag there, okay, because I see it is not a very essential product. Okay, what I consider is carry bag is not an essential product. There are easy substitutes which are available. So we do not focus until unless somebody comes to us and says us, please give us carry bag, and then we have no other way to convince him. But then we tell him, okay, we will give you carry bag. But carry bag is not where we focus upon. We focus on packaging material, functional packaging, food, non-food category packaging. This is where we work upon. Yes, compostable packaging, when we talk about it has many advantages. It also has many challenges at the same time. Okay, you're able to see my slides, right?
Yeah.
So press produce packaging, I'm talking about press produce packaging. These are used by e-commerce companies to pack vegetables and other things. Then your heat resistant packaging, grocery retail packaging, apparel packaging. If you order a Levi's jeans or an Alan Solly shirt or a Van Heusen shirt or US Polo denim, it all comes in compostable packaging at this moment. If you go to a Max lifestyle store, the packaging what they use is compostable packaging. So that is why I'm refraining myself talking about carry bags here. Why? Because there is another market which where we see the brands wanting to go green. If you order an apple from some top e-commerce store, probably you'll find wrapped in compostable packaging. Okay, and then there are many other utilities. We can make tamper-proof bag, agriculture mulch pens, poo bags. Yes, you see the carry bag is the last in our presentation. This is something which we are not promoting much. Okay, so how we work? Okay, since this is a new product, and many do not have an experience of using this product prior. Okay, the first and foremost thing is the knowledge. Okay, we need to have knowledge of the product. Okay, so what we do is we give the knowledge of the product to the buyer, to the packaging manager or the sourcing head, and we explain them how does this work. Okay, then we develop prototypes. Okay, definitely they were using the regular plastic, so we need to come up with solutions which are as near to their existing solutions. Okay, why? Because there are functional requirements, there are speed requirements, there are machine requirements. Okay, so we need to have a product which is very, very near to their previous product. Okay, at the same time sustainable, at the same time cost effective. Okay, and in many cases where we are not able to have the right solution on the desk, ready to give, we collaborate. Okay, when we say collaborate, we jointly develop a product which is required. So several trials, several experiments are done until we achieve the product. Okay, so with this, I'll stop screen scaring, and maybe you have to see me more. And Akash, if you have more questions, I'll be happy to answer, because I was told to share my entrepreneur journey and about my company, etc. So there were definitely some questions given to me. So I would request, because if you have some questions, I could answer them related to compostable plastic and packaging.
I think it's ideal that we have a lot of people who want to start that entrepreneurial journey, and an entrepreneur who has established himself, who has entered, might be this journey 10, 12 years back, so they can see the future. So I see a good future. I see a good brand that you have made. Might be you started with really very big brands because they were more environmental friendly and more interested in buying such products. But
as we go ahead, I think it would be more like a common use kind of a product. So, but then I wanted to ask from you, you spoke about the capacity that you have existing. Is this business a volume kind of a business, a cement, a steel kind of a business, or is it more, I would say, a customized kind of a business? So how do you categorize this business? Is it a volume game or is it not yet a volume game?
If you are in packaging industry, it's a volume game. If you are focusing on packaging industry, it's a volume game. If you are focusing on some SKUs like carry bag, grocery bag, garbage bags, okay, it might not be a volume game. You could start small as well. Why? Because see, if big companies want to work with you, they will look at your consistency of supply, and they will also look at your scalability. Okay, how quick and how agile you are to develop new products. So this requires some strength. It doesn't happen overnight. Okay, and at the same time, the processes, the QC, the quality check requirements are very, very high. See, I I differ a little bit with respect to technical requirements to develop and make these products. When it comes to when we comment upon that, it's as simple as the regular industry. No, it's not simple as regular industry. It's not that simple as regular industry. Okay, we as of now, I don't have a replacement for a as of now in India, we don't have a replacement for an Uncle Chips or a Lay's packet of a multi-layer. Okay, so yes, maybe for a carry bag or a garbage bag, I'm having an easy substitute. But what about functional packaging? Okay, so there is a lot of R&D and know-how which is yet to be required to be done. Okay, what common things which I come to hear through my people in my factory is that this is I always say that when you are making when you are looking at packaging material, look at it as a perishable product itself. Okay, if noodles have a life of 6 months, it gets expired. The compostable packaging also has a life. Okay, it will expire at some point of time. So it's a perishable product which you are producing. And let's say if I'm packaging a non-food category product, okay, into it, and which requires a shelf life of 2 years or maybe 1.5 years, it's gonna go and sit in the shelf for 1.5 years or 2 years. So there is a lot of know-how which will come into place. How you stop degradation, how you trigger degradation. I get majority of my clients coming to me asking for a longer shelf life, not a faster degradation. Okay, what they ask me is, tell me how will I have a longer shelf life? And when the day I have consumed it or day I have used, the purpose is solved of packaging, I want it to degrade faster. Okay, so which means it's not a very simple story. You look at the regular plastic which lives for 100 years, 120 years or 150 years, but at the same time this plastic, we don't give a warranty or we don't give a assurance that after 6 months it is suitable for your application. 6 months is on a very, very higher side when we are packaging a product. Once you have opened the pack, we don't even give 6 months. We say that once you have opened the pack, within 3 months, if you have not used my packaging, please, it's not suitable for your packaging. So, and while manufacturing itself, the turnaround time, the time you take to ship, the how you process. Majority of industry, we have got very comfortable with 50 plus 70 micron or some other microns. Okay, but when you process a 20 micron film or a 15 micron film, okay, and where you have to print, you have to process, and you have to cut, it's a skill set. It's a skill which you need to develop over a period. It doesn't happen. We have tons of material we have wasted just to do experiments and R&D. How we make this product. And believe me, I'm very thankful to my customers, where they were very cooperative enough. Even I have told them that I'm gonna send you something. Even I don't know if it will work or not, but I'm doing an experiment for you. I'm ready to invest time and money, material on your development. But at the same time, you also have to be cooperative enough. So it's a more of a joint development which we take up with many brands to bring the product out which is suitable for their packaging. Sometimes it's a easy journey. It happens in 5 days or 6 days. Sometimes I have clients where, discussions are going on still today. And it has been almost 18 months. And we have done several trials and yet not got the product. So it's all about whom you target and what kind of products you make. Okay. And that defines your skill sets.
Okay, nice. And
I
how
hope I
much
answered your
time
question.
generally? Yes.
Yeah.
So how much time does it take to develop a product in collaboration with somebody? So your customers comes in with a demand. So in general, how much? Say 1 month to 8 months or 1 month to 12 months. How much in general somebody should take to somebody takes to
So
develop a
if it's a
product?
non-food category product, if it's a non-food category, development is much faster. Okay, if it's a food category product, it takes a longer period. Why? Because the food itself needs to keep kept fresh. Okay, in some places we work as a a super product. Let's say fresh produce packaging. Okay, because we increase the shelf life of the product, we are lighter in weight. When consumer is buying your vegetables, he doesn't have the guilt experience. Okay, so there it's very quick. Within a week's time, we are able to give him a customized solution. Okay, when it is some product where recently we received an inquiry from a defense company where they said they want to pack the entire tank which goes to the war, okay, in a compostable packaging. They said we want to make it eco-friendly. Now imagine what should I tell them? I was like, what are you using right now? So they were like, we are using tarpaulin and we want to replace a tarpaulin with something biodegradable and compostable. So and I got into deep thinking, what kind of packaging should I suggest them? Do I have the scale, or do I have that kind of setup to give him a solution right now, or should I tell him that we need to hold on, maybe we will work on this right now? Okay, or we need to suggest something else. I have referred numerous clients to some other businesses, let me tell you, where I don't have the solution. And I tell them that since you have come up with this requirement, I don't have a solution. Probably you go to this industry, and there is where you will find probably the right product. Maybe he's the person who can give you the right product. Okay, he has some solution about it. So sometimes we don't even get solutions, let me tell you. I have said no to many clients where I have said, right now it's not possible, I don't have a solution for you. We received a requirement to pack honey for 6 months. And international market, there are some products which could sustain for a longer period shelf life. But at this moment, since we didn't have the solution, so we said at this moment we don't have the capabilities. But yes, there is somebody in abroad, some company by this name, he's doing it. Maybe you can approach them. Okay, so this is what we do. See, the whole idea here is helping clients in sustainability, be it me or be it through somebody. So our ideology is always that if somebody comes up with a problem statement and he wants to go green, help them out. Okay, doesn't matter it generates you a business or not. So help them out. They will maybe refer you some other business or some other client. This is our strategy.
Okay, so it's the client relationship that matters, is what you are saying.
Of course, we are a 12-year-old brand, and majority of our business comes by reference. Let me tell you. Anyways, we are selling an expensive product. If I spend marketing में more paisa, okay, and I'll make it more finally burden on the product itself. Imagine how will I promote? Okay, so thanks to all the people who are promoting compostable and biodegradable elsewhere. See, what I see is one major change post-corona. The mindset getting changed very drastically. Okay, people, consumer force is driving sustainability. It's not government who's driving sustainability, let me tell you. Government is getting revenue. Government, if it bans one product, उसका टैक्स नहीं आएगा गवर्नमेंट को, ठीक है ना? तो गवर्नमेंट के लिए तो challenges है. It is like taking up tasks which are more headache for them. Okay, it is the consumer who is driving sustainability, let me tell you. It is the consumer who is driving sustainability. Consumer wanting to go green, consumer wanting to have a guilt-free experience. Okay, and that is why we think, whichever way, whatever way, if we are able to help a brand go green, Okay, they are basically building their brand image.
Okay. So I would like to also know about the challenges that you have faced till now and how it is going on. So might be the
I have
challenges you have faced in
I
2010
have a
would have been
long
different.
list. Let me tell you, the time is less, but I'll tell you some few challenges. Implementation, okay, of ban and any other things which we talk about. Okay, whole of India is seeing plastic ban today. I have seen plastic ban 2014 in Karnataka. Okay, so there is nothing new which I'm seeing. Okay, last 7 years I've been in a state where plastic ban is there, and believe me, carry bag here, be it compostable, be it non-compostable, be it plastic, it's all banned in Karnataka. Okay, but you go to a sabji wala and you buy 1 kg aloo or anything, he'll say, carry bag laya apna? Nahi laya na? ठीक है, ये उनको प्लास्टिक निकाला, रेगुलर प्लास्टिक एंड उसमें डाल के आपको दे दिया. So implementation is something, there should not be a double standard. Okay. Second, there are a lot of pseudo products in the market, fake products, I would say non-compliant products. Okay. Uh, uh, India is always good, or not just India. I won't blame country, but यहाँ पे नाइकी की टी शर्ट भी फेक बन सकती है, एडिडास की भी बन सकती है. तो प्लास्टिक क्या है, कंपोस्टेबल क्या है, बायोडिग्रेडेबल क्या है, सब चीज प्रिंट होके आ सकता है रेगुलर चीजों में. Okay, then functional packaging requirements, like I tell you, we engage with somebody in some developing some functional training, product development, and later we fail. So it kills a lot of time of ours. So these are some challenges. I would want more innovation, scientists and people who are there. We want more better product. Let me tell you, we are processors. Okay, we can market your product. Okay, you give me the product, I'll tell you how to market. This is where we stand. Okay, I have people who want to go green, who are coming and knocking at my door and saying, "Arey, help me out, I want to go green in my packaging." And believe me, I don't have solutions. If there are more innovations and more new products which can handle functional requirements, my challenges will reduce. Okay, we are happy to collaborate with them. Price. Price is a big constraint. We are talking about carry bag here, but let's talk about packaging material pricing. Okay, density of the material. The density is much higher when compared to your regular plastic. 0.94 is your regular PE material density. Here, the density is in the range of 1.25, which means that to make the same micron material, my product would be 25% higher in weight. Okay, that creates a lot of problem. Even though I'm reducing the amount or the weight of the material by not having those micron rules on us, but still we become expensive. And dollar and raw material, polylactic acid is at all-time high right now. Okay, if you want a transparent material to be produced, you need polylactic acid. Okay, they are trading at polylactic acid is somewhere around $4 today. So imagine, by the time you process the material and you bring it out, it is 400 rupees per kg, 300 rupees per kg. Okay, and there are multiple products which are yet to come out, with respect to the functional requirements of the market. Okay, government stand changing. Government very looks like what's, yes, they're coming up with plastic ban, but many a time I see so many new notifications, so many new things. By the time we get prepared for this, there is something new which comes up. Okay, so my request to the governing body is that let's stick to something. Let's have one predefined way. There is some biodegradable standards now coming into picture, and I really don't know how to take it up. So what happens as an entrepreneur? Okay, I need to invest in machines. I need to invest in technology. Okay, so when I see this communication changing, it pushed me back. Okay, it pushed me back. Should I invest or should I hold? Or should I wait for the decision? And there is no clarity. When there is no clarity, the path is not very clear, then you hold yourself. That is the best strategy, which I could say, wait and watch. Okay, and it basically reduces the speed. So see, more or less, every business has challenge. I don't say that other businesses don't have challenge. These are some challenges which I very prominently see in compostable industry. Okay, the product nature itself. At some point of time, we are saying, at one point of time, we are saying that we want it to degrade, but at the same time, we want a higher shelf life. Okay, at the same time, we want it to degrade the day we have used it. Okay, so it's like many things. Now I have heard, in fact, I have received a communication recently that the EPR norms will apply to compostable plastic. Okay, now tell me, if my plastic has to degrade and it has to become a manure, okay, and it has to also sit in a shelf life, from where do I collect compostable plastic which has the same properties, and and I buy back? And what do I buy back? What do I buy back? Okay, I want it to degrade, right? Okay, so what do I buy back? Okay, there is, I think maybe in case of compostable plastic, maybe I can buy manure from the market.
I think,
Well
Gautam, I
said.
would like to add that I think 2 days back, 26th or 27th July, government has already published the notification that
Yes,
all
yes,
the
I'm aware of
biodegradable
it.
manufacturers has to follow the EPR rules.
Yes, yes. So I that's what, what do I buy back, sir? My challenge is that, I have given a compostable, biodegradable product. So what do I buy back? Okay, so
Okay.
and this communication has just come like with no intimation. Okay, no planning. And imagine the kind of investments we have already done on printing and large scale basis. How do I change my entire setup of printing and other things? Okay, but again,
Indeed, a big challenge.
uh, big challenge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
indeed, that's a big
that's
challenge. Yeah, already investment has been done, and then there's a sudden change. So how do we adapt
yes,
to that? So I really
yes.
appreciate the enthusiasm and interest and your involvement in the business. So with this, I have to wrap up quickly. So I will ask the same question to all the three speakers, which is about the future of biodegradable products in India and abroad. So starting with Mr. Gautam, and then we can talk to Mr. Mathur, and then Mr. Adoni can also speak about it. What do you see is the future of biodegradable products in India?
Okay. Because let's use compostable in my case. Okay. So compostable plastic, let's not look at compostable plastic. It's a tool. Compostable plastic is a tool of sustainable packaging. Okay. So demand for sustainable packaging will be there. It will never die. Okay. And what I see is various brands from Nestle to Dabur to Coca-Cola to all of these major brands have committed themselves to sustainable packaging. Okay. So when it comes to sustainable packaging, what are the alternatives which are available? Okay. We have to look upon. And if we look at the alternatives, which are nothing but, the problem with the regular plastic is that it lives long. The life is long, okay, after the usage. Okay. So the compostable plastic or biodegradable plastic life is short. Okay. So it solves many problems which plastic creates in a long term. Okay. So imagine your lakes and other things where where the plastic, whatever has been used, it disappears. Okay. And it doesn't toxic, it doesn't create the toxic environment. Okay. So the problem can be resolved. I see a demand for sustainable packaging not coming down in near future. Okay. We might have several challenges. Okay. And this is how we evolved. When Corona came, we didn't had a vaccine. Okay. We developed a vaccine, and today we are all back to normal. Okay. And it's like the fastest vaccine developed ever in the history of medical science. Okay. So when there the need is very high, okay, we will develop the product. We as a human will invent, okay, and develop will solve the problem.
Okay. Mr. Mathur, what is the future of biodegradable products in India? What is your opinion?
Yeah, I agree with what Gautam has said. He's very rightly pointed out, and if you heard him very cautiously, that you will come to know that he pointed out 2 3 points where the people has came to him and to develop the biodegradable covering. Particularly, he said that they are using some tarpaulins and all those things. So you see the awareness in the people right now. They're aware wherever they want, they can do the changes from regular plastic or synthetic plastic to biodegradable plastics. And this is going to happen in due course of time. As I told, in the next 5 years are the purely booming time. Next 5 years are basically the R&D time for the people who already developed the biodegradable plastic. But still, there is a much more thing is to be done in this biodegradable category. whatever is being developed based on the basically the purely natural aspects of the starch and cellulose, and all are based on the plant basis. Okay. Now the research basically which is going on the basically the waste, agro waste, which is coming over from the fields or the other industries, how they can use those waste also to convert new type of the biodegradable plastics, and new markets are emerging. Same time, government also creating the some type of hurdles. I'll say the bringing manufacturer of biodegradable plastics under EPR is a sort of hurdle for this industry. So this has to be resolved between the entities at the government level to understand, right? What Mr. Gautam told, that how what is doing, he is going to buy back it. He is producing the product which is biodegradable. So how we can collect and recycle? It is not recyclable. It's not a reusable in short. You can reuse until you dispose it off. You can reuse those bags many times. Either you dissolve in water and flush it out, or you throw it in or no dug it out in the your field or garden. So there is no question of no collecting and recycling or reusing those things. So this is a, I'll see it's a bit of hurdle or challenge to the industry to cope up with the government regulations. So government also same time has to think in a judiciously way that what type of regulations are being required. And one more thing which is more important above all, whether you're using a biodegradable plastic, you're using a non-biodegradable plastic or synthetic or whatever is material, the awareness in the people has to be for is sensibly disposed. You have to be sensible enough, you have to be responsible enough not to litter it, you have to segregate it and give it to the recyclers or dispose it of the way it is been meant for it. You, until unless I start improving myself in disposing these plastics, it is not going to help the society, the nation, and the nature at all. Okay. As both these speakers, Purushottam and Gautam, has told, there are many fake biodegradable or no compostable bags are there in the market. People are unable to identify by the regular people. See, layman can't identify whether it's a really biodegradable or not because the feel, the touch is more or less same way. Okay. Until as they go and test it, they can't check it. So a layman will not check it whether it's a real biodegradable or a fake biodegradable. But at least the layman can be sensible enough to dispose it of sensibly instead of throwing or somewhere or mixing the garbage. But the prominent market is there, prominent is there, new products are coming, new products are under development, and still there are very too much scope, I can say, where the existing single-use product can be converted into the biodegradable, plastics.
So the just for the benefit of the audience, I would like to announce that we can connect. There are more than 300 questions, almost 300 questions, which are being posed. So which is not possible to answer.
Yes.
If you want to connect with any of the two speakers, you can connect with us. We can have a online consulting, online video discussions with these speakers, and we can try to answer. You can of course email us at info@solutionbuggy.com. So coming to Mr. Adoni again, same question, sir. What are the opportunities in biodegradable products in India? What's the future?
Yeah, so Gautam and Mr. Mathur nicely already explained that. So just keep it simple. So future of the biodegradable, if you see, Gautam is live example here, who is a successful entrepreneur and growing and planning on this. That's one part of it. Second part, if you want to see as a, say, plastic pollution is such a big problem. So if you want to see solutions for plastic pollution, there are two things. Either you need to recycle the plastic that is getting polluted, or you need to compost it. So every day in India, 20,000 metric ton are disposed. So consider 10 metric ton is like going back to recycling through municipal facilities and all. 10,000 metric ton is left in the environment. That is the market opportunity for compostable. Ideally, compostable should be used when something is left in the environment. So it's all depends on like how we position it, which markets we play. We play whether say very commodity market like bags I told, or niche market like what Gautam is doing you specifically pick the brands and innovate there, come up with solutions and all. So overall, compared to other countries, India is still in very nascent stage in biodegradable. If you see Europe and US, so India being a follower of Europe in several technologies and products and even regulations, we see very bright potential for this industry in future.
Okay. So thanks for your inputs. I would like to finally conclude this session. Thanks to the speakers. The inputs were really very valuable, and it was a mixture of everything. The theory, what is happening in India, the certification, and of course, great wisdom from Mr. Gautam also, and hands-on experience also. So thanks for joining. Indeed appreciated, and of course thanks to audience for being very very active. We have around 328 unanswered questions in the chat box, and I think we would like to answer those questions as soon as possible. And there was good I think it the number of attendees, it went from 250 to around 360. So we had almost we will have almost 400 plus attendees for this webinar. So, and it's because of the speakers, the sticking rate was very good. So we want to thank the speakers, the inputs that they have given, the audience for being patient and active, and of course my technical team, my IT team, who has made it possible to have this webinar. So thanks and have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Take care, everyone, please.
Take care. Bye bye.